Welcome. My name is Eugene W. Krause, and this is a video podcast for Wilkes University, Class EDAM 5039, Application of 21st Century Teaching and Educational Practices with Dr. Lowery. This video podcast examines the first 4 program goals for the Master's Program in 21st Century Teaching and Learning, which are student-centered, learning and doing, using information, and teachers as facilitators. A major foundation of 21st century learning is Bloom's taxonomy, which dates to a 1956 classification system created by Benjamin Bloom to indicate the levels of intellectual behavior important in learning from lowest, like simple recall, to highest, like abstract mental levels. To quote Dr. Richard Overball from Old Dominion University, during the 1990s, a new group of cognitive psychologists led by Lorian Anderson, a former student of Bloom's, updated the taxonomy to reflect the relevance of 21st century work. The fundamental changes were from nouns to verbs associated with each level, and the top 2 levels essentially being switched. The bottom line is that the new version reflects doing, which is at the heart of all the 21st century teaching and learning program goals for Wilkes University. Goal number 1, student-centered. As a technology coach and social studies teacher at Hanover High School, I've been working for most of my career to put the doing on the student side into teaching, meaning that is my goal for the classroom, to be number 1, student-centered. Student-centered learning is focused on the needs of students rather than those involved in the educational process, such as teachers and administrators. Instead of being worried about what we are doing as teachers, it is focused on what we are having the students do and what we are taking into account their own strengths and weaknesses and giving them choices. In the project I am designing, The Flat World, a collaborative effort with students in Germany to describe the home front in both the U.S. and Germany during World War II, the students are going to determine what questions will be asked. Goal number 2, learning and doing. Learning and doing is the focus of 21st century academics as evidenced in the movement from nouns to verbs in Bloom's revised taxonomy. The focus is in doing. In my Flat World project, the focus is doing, as the students will have to research and create questions that their German counterparts will be using. This will involve very little of me showing or teaching and more of my students learning and doing as they find the information, create the questions, and then collaboratively share with their counterparts their questions and feedback. The students will continue with the learning and doing as they learn from the answers they receive to the questions and create products that encapsulate feedback and create a picture of life during World War II. Goal number 3 is IBL and using information. IBL is one of the fundamental aspects of this Flat World project. Students will be creating all their own questions as a result of the research and learning they complete through the research of their counterpart country. The quality of the questions they create will be fundamental determining factor for the quality of the answers they receive. Using the information that they research to create questions and using the information they receive from the interviews in Germany, the students will actively paint their own picture of the German home front in the creation of their final product for publication and sharing. Goal number 4 is teachers as facilitators. From the beginning of the Flat World project and many other projects the students complete, I will be serving in a facilitator role as a coach and advisor to introduce the project and expectations, help them make connections with their collaborative partners in Germany, and troubleshoot any problems they encounter. The students will be in charge of research, deciding on questions, collaborating and receiving the answers, and creating their products in whatever platform they deem most appropriate to share the results with their peers in the U.S. and in Germany. In review, we have talked about the 4 major goals of the Wilkes 21st Century Teaching and Learning Program. Number 1, student-centered. Number 2, learning and doing. Number 3, using information. And number 4, teachers as facilitators. Thank you very much for watching.
Created using Powtoon.